Hi, good evening. My name is Ross Nova, running for Governor of Minnesota. Welcome to the War Room Kitchen, where I'll be discussing real kitchen issues that matter to families. That being said, the next topic I would like to talk about is creating a perimeter around the school, of every school, that's safe for kids from protesters. I think protesters have gotten way too close to schools, and I don't like that. There have been a lot of protests in the past 8 years, especially in the past year or so, and there are times I wonder if they are too close to our schools. So I want to make sure we protect our kids from the craziness that's been going on in our cities. That being said, so I like to call this the Perimeter Act. Also could be called Safe School Perimeter Act. Children have the fundamental rights to a safe, calm, and distraction-free learning environment. Protesters and demonstrations near K through 12 have, in some instances, disrupted learning, caused fear, and endangered students and staff. Large or spontaneous gatherings near schools present inherent safety risks because the identities, intentions, and backgrounds of participants are unknown, making it difficult to assess potential threats in real time. And the thing is, we don't know who most people are in the protest. Oftentimes, they cover their faces. They could have serious criminal background. They could be sex offenders. We just don't know who they are. So I like to create a perimeter that's safe, that no protesters can enter, or else they will be pretty much arrested. Now, the purpose is not to restrict lawful speech, but to establish reasonable time, place, and manner protections around the school in order to safeguard minors and preserve the school operations. School means any public, charter, private, K through 12 school facilities, including school buildings, playgrounds, athletic fields, parking areas, and school-owned property. Protests or demonstrations means any organization or unorganized gatherings of two or more persons intended to express political, ideological, social, religious views through chanting, signage, amplified speech, marching, or other excessive conduct. School perimeter zone means all areas within 1/4 of a mile of a school property boundaries. What is that? I would say about 4 blocks. If you're about 4 blocks away from the school and you want to protest, that should be fine. That's like my rule. If every 4 blocks is about a 1/4 mile. No person shall organize, lead, participants in, or encourage protests or demonstration within school perimeter zone while school is in session or during school-sponsored activities. This prohibition applies to regardless of viewpoints or subject matters. In other words, teachers, if you want to protest because of pay or something you may or may not agree, you cannot be within the 1/4 of a mile of any school. You can protest, you have every right to protest, just not in a way that disrupts students or school. A person not only violates this act is guilty of misdemeanor, punishable by a fine not more than $1,000 or imprisonment of not more than 90 days in jail. Each day a violation continues constitutes a separate offense, enhances penalties, serious interference with school safety. A person who's doing a violation of this act blocks or obstructs school entrances or exits, uses amplified sound device, or engages in threatening, harassing, or intimidation conduct towards student or school staff or parents. is guilty of gross misdemeanor, punishable by a fine of not more than $2,000 or imprisonment for not less than 180 days. Local and state law enforcement agencies are authorized to enforce this act. Officers may order violators to disperse and may make an arrest without a warning when necessary to protect students' safety or restore order. No school district, school employees, or law enforcement officers acting in good faith under this act shall be subject to civil liability for actions taken in enforcement. In other words, if you get hurt in some way while you're being arrested, you cannot sue the officers or the staff members. School districts shall post clearly visible signage at perimeter entrances stating that protesters and demonstrations are prohibited within school perimeter zone. Failure to post signage does not invalidate enforcement of this act. So know where you're protesting, know where your schools are, and make sure you stay clear, at least a quarter mile or 4-block radius. I think it's, I've seen a lot of protests near schools. I've seen teachers protesting, on school or near schools. I think we have to make sure that kids are not distracted by what's going outside, wondering, if this is going to be out of hand or not. We want our kids to be focused in schools. We want them to learn. We want them to excel in what they're doing, and not know exactly what's going on in politics. The less kids know about politics, I think the better, honestly. Now, it's really up to the parents on how much politics they should be involved in, not up to the educators, not up to the government, not up to anybody. It should be, again, up to the parents on what kids learn. I strongly believe that. So this is just another protection for schools, for kids, to make sure they're safe in an environment where they can be themselves and learn safely without compromise. Ross Nova, shooting forward, brighter, bolder, for a better tomorrow. Thank you.